These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Reunited and it feels so good. Reunited cause we understood. There's one person.
Two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome everyone to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I'm your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Folsobach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are ya?
I am hair washed, body washed. I am just a fresh boy ready to start the week.
Look at this.
Got all cleaned up for the Sabbath, just like they did in the olden days.
Your one bath of the week.
Yeah, Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Pre-podcast.
Yeah, we got to get clean for the podcast.
Can't be going into the podcast all slimy.
Yeah, did the double dip, did a full shower, got out, dried, went right back in.
Like when you run your truck through the car wash and it's still got mud on it, just run it through again.
Yes, didn't scrub low enough.
Got to get the undercarriage.
I forget there's a toothbrush in the shower for a reason.
Oh, boy. Ooh.
Really dig in there.
You digging at your crotch with a fucking Oral-B.
Oh, God. Oh, man. I used to have that job, I'm sure I've talked about on the podcast before, of like where we remade truck brake shoes with the pads and everything. So at the end of it, like me and my buddy roommates both worked there. We had this haggard ass heavy duty brush that you use for like I don't know what it was, like probably a veterinarian use, like cleaning the hides of an animal, like, and it was just covered in black fucking soot. Like, so that just sat in the edge of our bathtub, like, and the shower water would hit it and it'd run off of it. So
oh,
like, this
God.
Black. Looked like our shower had been crying. Like,
Looked like a juggalo washing his makeup off every day.
The good news is all that stuff was inside our lungs now. So
oh, good.
Get that to look forward to.
I thought you'd have been wearing a paper mask the whole time.
Oh,
maybe
no.
a respirator, eye
Nope.
safety goggles.
I think there were a couple respirators laying around, and they had paper masks, but it was 105 degrees in that fucking concrete hellhole. So we yeeted that shit right into the garbage.
You're like a goddamn coal worker in Victorian London circa 1889. Just got
Hey,
the
brother.
black lung and got one crooked crutch.
They give you $7.50 an hour. You don't ask questions.
God damn it.
We thought we were living high on the hog when we got that job. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm sure. $7.50. Ooh, daddy.
Yeah. You could call in sick every day. No one cared.
As long as you were willing
Had to
to
have been a money
forego that
laundering scheme.
$7.50.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
The good old days when one didn't care about fucking mesothelioma.
Did you throw candy at children last weekend? Or last week?
I did not. I fucking spaced out. It was, because Halloween starts early in the day for kids, and it was like 6 o'clock. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even turn the porch light off. And I think we got one doorbell ring. That was it. I was like, oh shit, we ain't got. And then as soon as, I'm sure they were children, as soon as they left, I went and turned the light off. And I think in big cities, almost everything is community organized. Everyone come to the gymnasium. Everyone come to the church. Everyone and they all go there to get their candy.
They're not like just out in the wild.
Yeah, which, man, as a kid, that would bum me out so hard. I wanted to get thrown out of a car that isn't even in park. The sun is barely up, and if you have 2 grocery bags or bread bags usually, and it was fucking "Welcome to the Jungle" was getting cued in the background. You were gonna just rip that down a new asshole. Oh man, those last couple years of trick or treating, where you're tall enough that you can kind of keep a good pace. Christ, did we fucking get candy?
I bet there was one Halloween in my youth where I got to trick or treat in town, and what a treat that was!
Oh my God!
Out in the country, the closest neighbor's a fucking 7-minute drive away, so you'd get driven around all fucking night. Like, that was living. And then, since they don't get any trick-or-treaters, every fucking farmer and rancher goes overboard on fucking candy.
So there was something like, I want to, like, my cousins had to do it that way. And like, but when you go there, your dad's going to want to talk or your mom's going to want to talk.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Get caught up bullshitting.
I was checking my fucking pulse the whole time I trick-or-treated. Like, we keep this pulse at a high rate, because if we're stopping, we're not getting candy, so hustle up.
Keeping it in the fucking fat-burning zone.
Yeah. That was go, go, go. Let's get that bread.
There was one neighbor, old bachelor man, probably in his fucking late 60s, early 70s maybe. You had to make sure to hit his place because he gave out full-size candy bars and the most enormous red apples you'd ever seen. Don't know where he got them. For all I know, he was growing them downstairs. Yeah. But he also went to bed at 5 p.m., so you had to get there early.
And you were a better child than I was. If we got apples, those were promptly thrown as far as we could throw them down the street.
He was the only one, and he made up for it with the full-size candy bars. Yeah. So it was allowed.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Halloween, probably my favorite childhood holiday. I fucking looked forward to that so much.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it was always so goddamn cold back home.
Always.
Just brutal. Yeah.
It ruined your costume. Like, I'm Frankenstein, but in coveralls and a big stocking cap. Yeah. Oh, this year I'm Gene Simmons, but in coveralls and a big stocking cap. Mittens.
I'm fucking Gene Simmons if the tour bus broke down in fucking Nova Scotia.
your Gene Simmons face paint is freezing and cracking.
Yep. That happened to me. The one time I convinced my mom to let me get some gory makeup. They don't put on the packaging that it doesn't work when it gets below 0. So like whole chunks of fake skin were falling off my face. And I was like breathing on them to moisten them and putting them back on.
Your spirit gum is all given up.
And I'm probably crying because I'm so frustrated and sad. This zombie's depressed.
It's a really avant-garde costume.
Yeah. Oh man, God, we first we hit every trailer in our trailer park, and then Mom would just haul us into town and drop us off and tell us to get to Grandma's, because she'd meet us at Grandma's.
Sure.
And then after running our legs off, getting all that candy, then we'd go to the Armory for our town's big get-together.
Okay.
Like, oh my God. The absurdity of absurd amounts of candy we had at the end of this. And then I would just lay it out on my bedroom floor and like put it in rows. Like, let's see how her stats are looking.
Sorting it by different candies.
Yep, totally.
Fully on the spectrum.
Then I would hear the TV turn off, and then I would hear my dad's thundering footsteps come through the trailer house. And I would push it into a mound and put all the Snickers, because he always got too many Snickers. Just like, please, I know there's a candy tax. Just take the Snickers were the pawns of the candy chessboard.
Take them. Just leave the Almond Joys. Leave the rare shit.
Yeah, he'd reach in, he'd grab Snickers, but that hand was pretty big. He'd just keep going. Like, no.
Not my fun size, whatchamacallit. Where did that even come from?
For a fairly thin man, I bet my dad could eat 45 fun-size Snickers on a half-hour TV show.
Just sit unwrapping each one.
Yeah. The Folsom Books have notorious sweet tooths.
Got him in his lip like a snooze.
Yeah. I bet my grandpa was consuming 1,500 to 2,000 calories in hard candies a day towards the end of his life.
I bet my grandpa was doing at least 2,000 in ice cream on the daily.
Yeah. Oh, that's a thing. A big, absurd amount of ice cream for supper. For dessert, I mean.
Yeah.
An audacious amount of Hershey syrup on it.
Oh, my grandpa was obsessed with what he called ice cream soup, which was too many scoops of vanilla ice cream. And then you pour milk in it to dilute it a bit, mix that up. Now you're left with more liquid now. This is just melted ice cream now. And then add in Hershey syrup, caramel syrup, marshmallow fluff, sprinkles, peanuts. He had a whole section of Grandma's cupboard dedicated to ice cream fixins.
I worked at a grocery store in my adolescence, and I would often pay attention. Does anyone under the age of 70 ever buy the ice cream toppings outside of Hershey's? Never. It's always an elderly person.
Yeah, he had fucking by the time it was all mixed up, and remember, you started with what is essentially liquid ice cream. By the time it was loaded up and ready to take to the table and eat, it was the consistency of like a good clam chowder, like just heavy. Every spoonful is a chunk. It was concrete.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Ice cream soup at Grandpa's.
Yeah. And they're wondering why you're putting on weight as a kid.
Yeah. German
You're serving
grandparents.
me the same amount of ice cream as Grandpa.
Yep. German grandparents. One just wants you to eat ice cream, and the other one is cooking German food all the time, which is just bread and cream and butter.
Yeah. Together at last.
Jesus Christ, which is why we all come out looking like bread and cream and butter.
I bet it was good, though.
Oh, so good. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
What are the dinner staples of a German grandma? Like, you spend the weekend. What are you going to eat for dinner those nights?
Probably some, if you're real lucky, maybe some strudels.
Okay.
Probably going to be like a niffla soup involved, or a fried niffla and kraut with sausage cut up in it, like a German hot dish almost.
Oh my God.
Maybe some pigs in the blanket, which is different which to a German grandma means like cabbage rolls, not pigs in a blanket, not like the hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah. And I'm sure it can cook good, so nailing each one of these dishes.
Yeah, there's going to be cream and cabbage and sausage and some manner of dough, probably a niffla.
Oh my God. My food boner is growing as we speak. Starting to stink.
Oh, but
it demands refueling.
Oh, the smell is a bad way to know you have a boner.
Someone got a campfire going? Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
I'm aroused.
Oh, wait. I thought about German food for too many minutes all in a row. Oh, you might get a homemade fleshkikla if Grandma's really feeling frosty.
Oh, look at this. Jesus. And I had a decent breakfast / lunch today, but I tell you what, I gambled on some bacon. You know, bacon. Goddamn Biden's America. Bacon's getting expensive. I walk into the grocery store, local grocery store, and all the Hormel, which for me, that's the best mid bacon is Hormel.
Yeah.
All the Hormel's coming in at about $9 a package.
Jesus.
Then I see next to it, all the different kinds, there is a $4.99. It's almost 50% off. It's a limited run of apple cider Hormel bacon. I'm like, I have to do it. I rip it open, fry up half a pack. The fucking overwhelming smell of apples that is penetrating every wall of my house right now. It is insane. It smells like I fucking live in a Vermont bed and breakfast. It is fucking insane. Insane how strong it smells.
Somebody
like
opened a Yankee candle company at Nathan's house.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, exactly. Like, it is so, like, I had a friend over when I did it this last time. They're like, yeah, you're not lying. This is nuts. What kind of chemicals do you inject into bacon to make it smell like apples this much? then you eat it, barely any hint of apple. So eating it's okay, but that smell is so off-putting.
The apple is just there as an air freshener. It doesn't affect the flavor at all.
My whole thing is, who the fuck was asking? Apparently no one was asking for it because no one was fucking buying it. There's a reason it was half price. Like, I get a lot of bacon consumers stink, so it's more for the spouse.
What's the next one? Is it Old Spice? Like, who comes out with the next one? I got a pack of Drakkar Noir bacon. Really gonna jazz up the place.
You could do pumpkin spice, then you have a limited edition fucking. Oh my God, Tom and Jerry flavor fucking bacon.
Fuck yeah! God, I want a Tom and Jerry so bad. That's the thing with it getting cold out. Immediately, it's Tom and Jerry season. I want a Tom and Jerry so bad.
Yeah, a good Tom and Jerry's a treat.
I got a good ass fucking Tom and Jerry batter recipe. Maybe I'll have to whip some up, send some home with you.
We need to bring you to a small town where you don't know anyone. You blend in fine, but you just kind of keep to yourself, and you sit at one corner of the bar, and I discreetly sit somewhere else, and we videotape and see how many of those you can get into you before you either pass out or they ask you to leave.
Man, getting drunk on Tom and Jerry sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, you're on your 19th Tom and Jerry.
Oh, God. Just fucking wasted on hot brandy and full of fucking what's essentially pancake batter.
Yeah. You're just hammered, but you're keeping to yourself, reading Garfield books the whole time, like Garfield reprints. Just got it on the bar, just paging through, have a little chuckle now and then when Garfield maybe strikes a chord with you.
Oh, God.
You're drinking, so you're talking out. You're getting drunk, so you're talking out loud to yourself. That goddamn cat loves lasagna.
He sure doesn't care for Nermal, does he?
That
To
Nermal.
no one within 4 stools of me.
When will Nermal learn?
Abu Dhabi again.
Oh man, is John gonna ruin another date by being weird?
Another Tom and Jerry, please. Oh, God. I don't think you're supposed to have this much nutmeg in one sitting.
Yeah, they're Googling nutmeg.
Googling nutmeg overdose. You're having a fucking acid trip.
Your pupils are the size of nickels.
You look up all the cans of beer in the cooler behind the bar dancing. Oh no! Too much nutmeg.
Mounted deer head telling you to kill the president. That's how they activate the sleeper cell.
Oh God!
19 Tom and Jerry's.
Watching that black and white checkerboard tile all switch places with each other. Oh shit!
And then just getting up without a word and leaving. God, they'd be talking about that for a while.
Yeah. Just drunk off your tits on hot raisin liquor. Woofda.
Yeah. Have to be a real small town where there's no reason for a stranger to be there, you know? Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd be the talk of the town for a long time.
Your hometown, if a guy in a suit that like sits down at the bar and the bartender doesn't recognize him, do they start asking questions to the other locals? Like, who is this guy?
I wouldn't doubt if the bartender would just ask the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it's out of place enough.
Where I'm from, there's a highway right there that isn't completely immune to through traffic, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like, it wouldn't be unheard of for a salesman or something to be heading to southwest North Dakota from Bismarck and take that highway and need to stop in for a bite or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Woof. But it's a hard scrabble living trying to sell any product in southwestern North Dakota.
Oh my God, yeah. selling Rubbermaid trash cans up and down the highway in southwest North Dakota.
I see your garbage cans are brand new. Terrific.
Stopping at every Quonset. Every Quonset needs a trash can, right?
Yeah. Apparently someone else is on this route. Everyone has to do garbage cans.
Oh shit. I had probably 50 trick-or-treaters through here last Tuesday.
50.
Yeah, I bet it's between 40 and 50.
No shit.
They fucking come a-running out here. Started trickling in at 5:30, and at 8 o'clock, it's like you flipped a switch. The streets were empty and silent.
Did you dress up is the question.
I did not. No, I just sat in I opened my garage door. I had the back hatch of my vehicle open with a bowl of candy and a cooler with beers and shooters and waters in it for the adults, and just flopped down a fucking lawn chair next to it and just sat and come on in, everybody. Met a few of the neighbors.
Any of them take the booze?
Fucking giving out beer on Halloween night to the parents was a big hit.
No shit.
I gave out over a case of beer. I bet I gave out 30 beers.
No kidding. Goddamn D-gens can't make it one night without tying one on.
Yep, can't get through a Tuesday without having a beer.
This is all some long game for you, so you can go to like a neighborhood association meeting and call people out.
Yeah. You were drinking with your child on Halloween. You're really getting after him.
Oh, I can't build an above ground pool? Interesting.
0 people took me up on the shooters, so now I got a fucking cupboard full of shooters that I gotta work through.
Those are good. They go right in the glove box.
I'll bring some with for the comedy this weekend. You and I can work through fucking 20 shooters that I bought.
Holy fuck. This is too much 99 bananas.
I almost bought 99 bananas. I did not. But
they might just strictly sell that in a shooter size now.
I'm wondering if that even comes in a fucking 750.
Yeah, the 99 people have really nailed down the homeless shooter demographic.
Yeah.
You get a lot of bang with your buck with 99 bananas.
Tastes like candy and 99 proof. Get it in ya. Holy guacamole.
Probably not the worst thing to vomit either.
It's pleasant twice.
Yep. They're saying that as they're lying in the gutter.
That's printed on the bottle. That's a catchphrase.
Yeah. Oh, you're really going hard if you're consciously thinking of that when you're picking out your alcohol of choice.
What's going to taste good coming up?
Yeah, because this is coming up. There's no way.
Yeah, it was. Ugh. It was a successful. I bought just the right amount of candy. Also, I bought 5 bags of candy and gave out. When the night was over and I took the bowl back inside, there were 6 candy bars left in there.
Oh no shit! Did you just have a bowl out and kids could help themselves, or? No,
I was doling out. So I was doing like a 3-finger pinch. I bet every kid got 3 to 5.
Oh, and that's something that's changed, I think. I remember when I was a kid, it was you got 1 or maybe 2.
Okay. I was so paranoid of having a bunch left over that I was given pretty heavy.
I want to get rid of this shit.
Yeah, I don't want 3 fucking bags of Kit Kats and peanut butter cups sitting in my pantry. Because that'll be gone tomorrow.
Yeah. You're gonna sit and patiently, like you're shucking clams. You're gonna open up 150 Reese's cups.
Yep, just sitting at my kitchen table.
I have a trough next to your bed full of ice, like oysters on the half shell.
A cooler in bed with me.
Holy fuck. God, that'd be good though.
Yeah, that would.
A chilled Reese's cup is a delicious treat.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Alarm goes off. Cold Reese's cup right in your face.
Yeah. Well, it's that time.
While I was shopping for liquor on Tuesday. I waited till day of. While I was at the liquor store, I knew that this was a thing. I'm curious if you've heard this. I knew that it existed, but had not heard it yet until that day in the liquor store. I knew that fucking chunky country fella covered that Tracy Chapman Fast Car song. I knew that existed, but had never heard it until that day. Have you heard that thing?
I have not.
It is so terrible. Holy God. That was like a huge hit. Probably is still in the top 10 if I were to guess. That's all anybody talked about a month ago. Who this fucking, I forget the guy's name. The fucking Fast Car. It's so bad, Nathan.
I mean, this does not surprise me, but like, what a baffling song to cover. And like, what a baffling thing to be a hit.
And not just that's what you chose to cover, but then you covered it really poorly. Like, you know how Tracy Chapman has a voice that'll make you cry if you're not ready for it?
Yeah.
This guy sounds like he's like, it sounds like he's singing in his car, but trying not to make it apparent. So he's kind of just like, he's kind of working at like a 4 out of his 10, like trying to stay low key because he's in traffic and doesn't want people to make fun of him. Like, putting zero fucking heart into it. It is just like, it's that kind of like mumble along singing where you don't want someone to notice that you're singing.
Yeah.
Like, what in your car? Like, dude, fucking have a feel. Would you have an emotion, please?
Yeah. That could be the name of your album.
What's Kirk Van Houten's Can I Borrow a Feeling?
Yeah. Can I have an emotion, please? You with dark eyeliner, clearly been crying. Top hat tilted to one side.
There's a pretty good album title.
Can I have an emotion, please? Kind of bottom lip pouted out like, maybe. I've been a good boy. It's just you covering emo songs from like the mid-aughts. Like your glamour project.
Oh, shit.
What do you plan on doing with this?
You clearly spent some money on the recording and the photo shoot for the album cover. Like,
but I guarantee you didn't pay the artists any royalties. So like,
we'll sell it as merch at comedy shows.
Can I have an emotion, please? I wonder if that song choice was it like a bet between two high-powered country producers that are like, I can make any song that's acoustic, I can make it into a bro country hit, and that's what was decided upon.
Yeah, it had to be the premise for a low-budget comedy film.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Like, part of it is that song is so fucking good, that Tracy Chapman song, that like part of like, but this song would be bad if that song didn't exist. Like, if the original didn't exist, this would still be a terrible song.
I wonder if the performer was like against it from the word go. Like, this is dumb.
I have no idea. It's you know who was against it from the word go? Me, in the liquor store.
You got your hands on your hips, like just
what is this?
Tisking. Yeah.
Yeah, it is bad.
Hey, Marlon.
Hey, Nathan.
You know who's never had a surprise country hit with the cover of a Tracy Chapman song?
Who's that, Nathan?
The Simpsons.
Son of a bitch, look at you. Look at you.
Inspirato comes from many different places.
I love that you just went for it. Like, fuck it, Marlon, we're done. We're talking about Simpsons now.
I could have not shoot that shot. I liked it too much.
Oh, shit. We are talking about Simpsons. We're in season 34. We're doing episodes 7 and 8. I'll start off with episode 7, From Beer to Paternity.
Oh,
I like it.
that's punny.
I like it. I like it. The puns.
What'd you think
What
of that?
is that voice?
Couch
What
gag?
is this?
Is this a new character?
Who am I working on?
Yeah.
I like it. The puns. Is this Italian?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Good. Keep at it though. Is all I want to nurture this thing you're working on.
I'll
now.
keep workshopping this weird street Italian.
If you shaved your beard and was growing out a big walrus Italian cook mustache, it would be so off-putting. Just a crude black dye job you clearly did yourself.
Marlon, this is shoe polish. We can all smell it.
It's not a walrus mustache. It's the curly Q Raleigh Fingers mustache.
Yeah, the handlebar curls.
What's he going for? I don't know.
I think you could get away with a bushy broom, push broom mustache also.
I think so.
I think Luigi
yeah.
on The Simpsons has that. Well, he might have a curly Q, actually.
Maybe a little of both, kind of.
Yeah.
It's a bushy one that curls a bit on the
meet
ends.
somewhere in the middle. I like it, puns. That's... I think there's a little Greek in there too. I think there's
it's
a matter
it's
of
certainly Mediterranean.
It is Mediterranean, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me, what am I doing?
That's for your therapist. Let's keep going. Don't dwell, you'll get sad.
To answer your question, the couch gag made of food was okay, all right.
Yeah. This is fun. This is interesting.
Different.
Yeah. Different, yeah. Enough where it caught my fucking eye. So, you know what? Give that a big old E for effort.
Especially since, I would rather have any couch gag than no couch gag like we get in the next episode. Mm-hmm. There's something about when The Simpsons just starts that bums me out. When it goes from the name in the clouds and the harmony and then just straight into the episode, I'm always like, oh.
And that's something that happens plenty, especially in the golden era. They get rolling real quick at times.
Yeah, a lot of those episodes are too full of jokes. They ain't got time.
The couch gag became a much bigger part of The Simpsons after the golden era.
Yeah.
Probably because animation got easier, but I bet seasons 1 through 6, they are cycling through the same 3 or 4 couch gags a lot.
Yep. Yeah, they were it was definitely less of a big deal back then.
That's the kind of thing that if you would have asked me about The Simpsons before we started this, I would have assumed, they've always been doing wacky couch gags forever.
Yeah,
you know?
Likewise. Yeah, I would have thought that was that's one of their things, but it wasn't always.
Yeah, that's definitely season 10 and on or something like that, I bet.
Yeah. We start with a Duff ad from 1951, and then which I love that 50s newsreel shit, and the whole ad is just this housewife apologizing for burning dinner, and then Duff Man shows up and gives the husband a beer, and he's like, "Oh, it's forgiven, I guess."
Look,
the
Duff Man, I can do something right.
Yeah, what the fuck? To be a fly on the wall in the 50s, oofta.
Yeah. I don't know, flies are black. Probably was no good for them either.
Boom.
That's topical.
Nailed it. And then that cuts to a commercial from 1971 that's all groovy and hippie-ish.
It's it's the Coke commercial from that era. I like to buy the world of Coke. Yep.
Okay. And then another from 1991 that is a grunge band playing a concert, and then Duff Man hoses them down with a hose full of Duff and makes them hair metal again?
Yeah. If you notice, before the hose hits all the 90s grunge kids, one of them has a Sadgasm shirt.
Ah, that's fun.
Yeah. And one shirt says Sound Jam, and the other one says Pearl Garden.
Perfect. I like that. And then we cut to the present where the powerful lady in a pantsuit is in the Duff boardroom saying that they need a new spokesperson, so they're going to have an election.
And for some reason, not Lindsay Nagel.
Yeah, definitely a Lindsay Nagel type character, but it's not Lindsay Nagel for whatever reason. She rifles through the list of candidates, and god damn it, it keeps coming up throughout this episode. Woke-topus is so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
Like the socially aware octopus. Just an octopus holding a Duff in each tentacle with a shirt that says equity is not equality. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah. And then isn't Helen Mirren the third choice?
Helen Mirren is another one, yep. And it's just her like getting out of a limo going, what is this? Oh shit. I laughed about Woke-topus every time it came up in this episode.
And I like how they're like, and also if you're interested, you can vote for Duffman again.
Yeah,
he's
or
just
you
a fucking
can keep
afterthought.
Duffman. Yeah, complete afterthought. Homer and all of his friends, they're campaigning for Duffman, of course. Duffman out and about trying to like get ahead in the polls because he's not doing well in the polls at all. And it does that fucking run of like going in and wet t-shirting a bunch of what he thinks are women drinking at bars, but they all turn out to be lawyers based on different hijinks with the sign outside. Yeah.
I also love how the Duffmobile's basically like the 1960s Batmobile.
Yep, it looks like the 60s the Adam West Batmobile. So Duff having a tough time. Duffman. Gets like ambushed by TMZ. I do like that the Simpsons TMZ is TMI. That's fun. That came up a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so he's backpedaling on because he's got all these pending lawsuits from hosing down all these lady lawyers. And just shoots out of the holster, I can't hate women. I have a daughter. And everyone like, oh, okay, that makes everything he's doing okay. And Lisa and Marge sitting at home watching this on television, just disgusted, of course, having like, oh, I can't believe these idiots eat this up. And he pulls up a photo of quote unquote his daughter, and it's Lisa. It's him and it's Duffman and Lisa.
Like a confused Lisa clearly at like some kind of event.
On a throne of Duff cans. Yep. Yeah. And it's from Dufftoberfest from a few years back when Homer dragged Lisa along to this beer event. Homer not a fan of this. Lisa super not a fan of this. They go over to Duffman's house, and Homer gives him hell, just fucking tears him down about this, making himself look good in front of Lisa for sure.
Yeah.
And Duffman like takes his licks and is impressed at what a good girl dad Homer is, and wants Homer to help him become a good girl dad because Duffman also has a daughter, and a strange daughter, which he brought up like in season 10. Like
interesting.
In an offhanded comment. And I only know that because I used the clip of him saying Duffman has a dinner date with his estranged daughter. I used that as a clip in our best of episode back in April.
Okay.
And as soon as they said the words girl dad, I was like, oh, I remember girl dad being a thing from a year and a half ago.
Yep. Kobe Bryant's death really brought that to the forefront, too.
Yeah, that's about when that all would have happened, yeah. Homer takes Duffman out with a bunch of other girl dads to P.F. Thongs, which is a P.F. Chang's Hooters, but for butts.
Yeah. What is a P.F. Chang's? I've heard the name.
Oh, P.F. Chang's is a chain of Chinese food restaurants.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like Olive Garden, but Chinese food.
That you use the exact same. That's what I was going to describe it as. Yeah, Olive Garden replace Italian with Chinese.
It's good. I like Chinese, or I like P.F. Chang's.
I like Olive Garden.
Yeah,
let's all put our cards on the table.
I'll eat fucking breadsticks.
Who am I? Salad's good. It's microwave pasta, but pasta microwave's okay.
Yeah, I like, the only thing with Olive Garden is, boy, breadsticks and pasta are the cheapest foods in the world, and you're charging $30 a plate or whatever it is.
We don't need to do this, Olive Garden. We can.
I can cook pasta at home. But I can't make P.F. Chang's double pan-fried noodles and orange chicken at home, so... I would, on occasion, a friend of mine in Fargo, when he still lived in Fargo, we did it a handful of times, drive to the cities to eat at P.F. Chang's and turn around and drive home.
No shit, really.
It's good. It's real good, especially when you don't have it. If it's in your town, you eat that. It's like a tourist attraction. You never go there because you live there. But if you're from someplace that doesn't have it, you'll make the trip.
My buddy's sister and her friends, when they were in college, would road trip to Sioux Falls just to eat at a Sonic and then come back. 8-hour round trip to eat at a slightly better Dairy Queen.
I mean, Sonic's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, for fast food, definitely. Yeah,
best fast food breakfast burrito in the game, and it ain't even close.
Who's even stepping into the ring? Taco Bell, I'm sure they open for breakfast.
BK has a pretty good one.
Okay.
It's almost a different category because it's almost a completely different product. But I love the McDonald's breakfast burrito. Those little. They're only like as big around as a fucking 50-cent piece and maybe 4 inches long. I'll eat a dozen of those trashy little bastards.
Would an easier question be which breakfast burritos don't you like?
There is no such thing as a bad breakfast burrito. There are some that are better than others. I don't care for PetroServe's breakfast burrito offerings.
Who'd have guessed that a place called PetroServe wouldn't have good breakfast Mexican fare?
Yeah. But outside of that, pretty much any fast food restaurant or gas station is going to have a perfectly acceptable breakfast burrito. Duffman calls his daughter and asks if he can come visit, and he's so excited that he's like, she said sure, which is not like a yes. It's not an enthusiastic answer.
Was it sure, I guess?
Sure, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But Duffman only works in superlatives.
Yeah. That is the same as a fuck yes to him.
Yeah. Anything that's not a strong no is a fuck yes.
Yeah. So now we're taking a road trip. It's Homer, Lisa, and Duffman. Duffman insists that Homer brings Lisa. Homer doesn't want to because he wants to hang out with Duffman.
Yeah.
But Duffman insists that he bring Lisa along so he can get a good example of being a good girl dad. And the way they con Lisa into going with is there is an Agatha Christie museum near where they're going.
Which I am not one for trying to guess how a show is going to go, but I immediately knew ain't no way they're getting Lisa to that museum in time.
Yeah, that is not happening. You can see the quilt squares coming together pretty quickly in this episode. Especially when, while they're driving, they are informed by Duffman's agent that there's a spokesperson convention near there that he should go to because he's still lagging in the election results, election polls. And so they go to the spokesperson convention where Duffman is not appreciated at all.
Yeah, it's depressing.
When that lady goes up and is like, "Can I have your autograph?" and then waits a beat and goes, "Marker, I got to get the autograph from the Mucinex loogie."
And there's a quick gag too where it's something about how in one of the conference halls they're having a conference on what is it when the mascot becomes the product by Charlie Tuna.
Yep.
and you see a stressed Charlie Tuna going through his fucking little cue cards,
index cards. Yep.
Yeah. That's a nice touch.
That's a good joke.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, man. They eat your people. You're going to promote the product?
It's like having a pig be the fucking spokesperson for your sausage company.
Yeah. Who is the other tuna company outside of like store brand?
Chicken of the Sea.
Chicken of the Sea. Oh, God.
Which is a mermaid, right?
Yeah, yep. It's a mermaid on the can. I don't even give a fuck if it's in water or in oil. Either way's fine with me.
Oh, ish. No. Water. Water all day.
Drink that oil, baby.
Oh,
that's the good
God.
shit.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, that's some free fish oil there. You ain't got to pay at a GNC for that.
I'm fucking packed full of omega-3s. My coat is so shiny.
Look at the strip of hair that's now growing down the middle of my back.
Joints have never been more well lubricated.
I just casually take handcuffs off. I'm above the law thanks to Charlie Tuna.
Tennis elbow can never get near me. Not with my tuna oil.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug. You got it in a big Yeti mug. You've been collecting it for a while.
Yeah. Just casually walk around on all fours like the gal in The Ring.
So bendy and shiny. Look at that, man.
The tuna company doesn't want me because they say I'm terrifying. Me in my current shape coming at you in a handstand screaming, "Eat this tuna." No, in a back bridge.
Yep, walking on all fours like a spider.
Head twisted upright somehow.
What kind of fucking Silent Hill enemy are you putting together right now?
Just 7 cans of tuna a day within 2 months, you two.
That's too much tuna.
Well, terrify your neighbors.
Are you
I
somebody?
can climb up walls.
Watch, skitter, skitter, skitter. Are you someone that can eat tuna out of the can?
I could, but I'm going to put it in a bowl, give it a little dollop of mayo or Miracle Whip.
I can't just eat it out of the can like some folks. Like just crack it open and throw it back like an oyster. I can't do it.
In a perfect world, I'm eating it on white toast. I like a big tuna sandwich.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to be healthy, I could just eat cans of it.
I love tuna salad. Like Miracle Whip, a little shot of mustard, some dill pickle relish, and whip that up into a good tuna salad and put it on some bread or even a wrap, you know. But like, God, I envy the people that are perfectly fine with just eating it out of the can, skipping all them extra calories.
I was the guy that during a bad storm hit Fargo, and I had needed to go grocery shopping. I pushed it off days already, so now we're getting real hard up. I ate, I think, 7 cans of Kipper snacks for one dinner.
What's a Kipper snack?
Just like a headless sardine, just comes in the little metal tin that you peel open.
Yep.
Could you imagine what my breath smelled like?
Fish, I'd imagine.
Thankfully, I lived alone. What did that apartment smell like?
Fish, I'd imagine.
That didn't have a dining room. I ate that on a couch.
Oh, my God.
There's no way that sauce wasn't dripping everywhere.
Oh. God damn it. Never was one for the seafood snacks. The pickled herring or the tins of shit. My old man would sit and eat a whole tin of smoked oysters.
Oh, I could. Damn right. Yeah.
I haven't had one since I was a little kid and trying one of his. I wonder if I could eat one now.
Maybe now. Maybe it's time to face your canned fish fears.
What if I give it a shot and I love it? That's terrifying. Now I'm buying them by the case.
Yeah. I was just this week looking at the canned fish selection at a grocery store, and they had canned like little jars of caviar. I was like, no shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't sturgeon. I think it was fucking lungfish or something like that. It was
some matter of bottom fish, some bad fish.
But how decadent. Just eating grocery store caviar.
I think you should have done it. You should have come home and just eat it in bed with your with a spoon.
How do you usually eat caviar? Is it maybe put on a cracker often?
Cracker, yeah.
Yeah. I bet I'd like it. Fish eggs don't do a whole lot for me, but I mean, I'm sure caviar's a cut above, so I definitely want to try it.
Honestly, it barely tastes like fish. It tastes like salt.
Like oysters.
Yeah. God, now I have to buy a fucking can of oysters, and I'm mad about it.
Yeah. Eat them in the car right at Walmart.
I'll bring a can to this week's comedy shows. That's what I'll do.
Oh, my God.
You and I can be oyster boys in the car.
Yeah, I will eat oysters immediately. Oof, that's a rough thing to eat in a car, though. That's tough.
That's pretty discourteous to whoever our third comic is that weekend.
Yeah. You should do that at a rest stop. A man alone eating canned oysters at a rest stop is depressing.
Oof, yeah, that's a tough painting. Oh boy, that's part of Norman Rockwell's Weeper series. Everybody wants to buy the Thanksgiving one. They know nobody wants the oyster rest stop one.
Sad oyster man.
Can't figure it out. We've been meaning to talk to you, Norman. We're going to burn this oyster one. So, as was always going to be the case, they lose track of time at this spokesperson convention and do not make it to the Agatha Christie Museum. They get there like just as they're closing, and Lisa begs and begs, but no dice. And Lisa flips shit, rightfully so. God damn it, Homer, you fucking dud.
Yeah.
And like she's hollering at him, and then he lets slip that he didn't want to bring her in the first place. He's just using her to get in with Duff Man. This is a tough one. This is a bad Homer mess up.
Yeah. Which we haven't had a lot of lately.
No, but he does put his foot in it here, and she lets him have it.
Yeah.
At the same time, fucking Duff Man bails because he's trying to bang the lady who runs the Agatha Christie Museum.
Yeah, and he even recognizes that Homer's a fraud.
Yeah. So now it's...
I love how the lady who runs the Agatha Christie Museum is immediately turned on by Duff Man.
Yep. You're led to believe like a attractive woman in her late 40s. Just she's Homer's age is what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
There's plenty of things I'd unlock for Duff Man, but this museum's not one of them.
And then she just pulls her car around and Duff Man jumps in. Good for her.
Yeah.
So now it's just Homer and Lisa in the car, and they're talking about Duff Man and his daughter, but they're really talking about Lisa and Homer. They're talking about themselves. Lisa finds a drawing under the seat that we had seen earlier that Duff Man's daughter had made when she was like 6 of her and her dad, little crayon drawing that he always carried around. And she's like, we really should turn around and go take this back to him. So we see Duff Man rolling up to his daughter's apartment. Duff Man shows up, goes to knock on the door, but gets distracted by the party that's happening at the pool. We see Amber, Duff Man's daughter, open the door, and it's Homer and Lisa standing there, and they have a talk with her about, no, your dad's really changed. He's a good guy now, which is when we go outside and Duff Man is like having a, what do you call that? The on-the-shoulders fight? In the swimming pool, chicken fight.
Yeah, is that just chicken fight? Does that sound right? Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah. So Amber pretty disappointed at this, and she goes marching off. Duff Man goes to stop her, and when he does, he runs past a Duff truck. Hey, Pally is in there with unloading a bunch of beer. And he drops a keg, which goes rolling down the hill and is going to take her out. But Duff Man saves her with his giant novelty chick magnet suitcase that we saw earlier. stops the keg from hitting Amber and saves her. And so they're reconciling, they're making up, and then he gets a call from his agent to inform him that he won the election and he's going to be the spokesperson again. But he turns it down for his daughter Amber, who's like in her 30s now, to be clear.
Yeah.
It's a grown-up daughter. And then we cut to him as the official spokesperson for Puffman for his daughter's marijuana store.
That was a nice touch.
That was a very nice touch. Like a barely altered costume. It's just a different color, and they've extended the D down to be a P on Puffman. And he like takes a fucking bong rip. So that's Duffman's new gig. That was a good one. Like it felt it felt like an old episode with Homer messing up with Lisa, and then making up. It felt like a very classic Homer and Lisa episode.
Yeah. I'd put it 5 out of 10 at best. I never really laughed in it.
Not a lot of laughs, I'll give you that. It was not an overly funny episode.
I did like during the party at the pool scene. I can't remember what Duffman says to some girl, but he's trying to be like fatherly. And she's like, I have a great relationship with my dad. I just like bikinis and parties.
Yeah.
And Duffman goes, Duffman respects your journey. That was a nice one.
Yeah, this let's take a look at how dated Duffman is and try to like what would it be like if Duffman had to exist in the woke world of the 2020s. It's like, okay, I can see how that's a good idea up on the whiteboard, but I don't feel like we did a ton with it.
Yeah.
With the Duffman half of the story.
Yeah.
The other half being, like I said, a classic Homer and Lisa episode. I genuinely got a good chuckle out of Puffman. I did like that ending.
Yeah, that was a nice twist at the end.
Yeah.
But unlike episode 7, I really dug episode 8.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was into this one. I enjoyed this one a whole bunch. The name, if you're curious, dear listener, Stepbrother from the Same Planet, which that's kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
That's not as fun as From Beer to Paternity.
Yeah, it's working a little harder to get there.
Yeah. The Simpsons go to some kind of like art in the park thing, like, hey, you could sell your whatever little fun trinkets you make.
Craft fair.
Craft fair, there you go. Yep. And Lisa bumps into the twins, and Janie, who is the other girl's name.
Did you remember her name, or did you have to look it up?
Oh, I had to look that up. Yeah, that's totally, yeah.
I was trying to think of her name and then forgot to look it up, so.
Yeah. We hadn't gotten much of Sherry and Terry in a while, let alone Janie. Janie is sometimes better friends with the twins and is kind of a bully, or she's like Lisa's bestie.
Yeah, they kind of stick her wherever they need her.
Yeah. Janie's the free safety of the Springfield second grade class.
The twins, always antagonists.
Yeah. They're doing a scavenger hunt for Francine's birthday party. I don't even think we're supposed to know who Francine is.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah. They went there to get a picture of something sad is the goal. And
they're doing a scavenger hunt. Yeah.
Yep. So everyone has to take a picture of something sad. Lisa realized that she hasn't been invited because it turns out she's a fucking narc, which of course Lisa is. She's a fucking goody two-shoes.
And knows it. I like that she admits okay.
Yeah.
Because they're rattling
they're
rattling off a list of examples. Like, you remember you got a pool party shut down because the pool wasn't up to code.
Yeah. God, Lisa's the worst that way.
Yeah.
And no wonder you don't have any friends. You're
Lisa
always whining about no friends.
She's a dud that way.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, when she finds out about this, the girls take a picture of her because she's sad.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Marge is bought in a small wooden box, and you have to buy the polish for the wooden box. But when the guy that makes them has to have a little talk with the wooden box because it's going to a new home, that was a nice touch.
The overly weird woodworker selling his stuff there.
You have to get the special polish with the carnauba wax, which that comes into play later.
Does it ever?
Yeah. Homer is just milling around, and he sees a peculiar-looking elderly man with a little man bun. God damn it if it isn't fucking Grandpa.
Of course it is.
Grandpa looked
as soon
unpleasant.
as you see him from behind, you know it's Abe.
I got like a drug rug fucking like sweatshirt type thing on.
You ever wear a drug rug?
Nope, that ain't my scene.
I could see myself wearing a drug rug if they made drug rugs in my size. If they made like drug rug but with 2 G's in rug.
Yeah, I believe they do. I've seen some chunky fellas wearing them before.
I think I could wear like a black and white drug rug.
I think you could pull that off. Yep, I could not, but you could.
Yeah, I think I could do it. Big oversized hood to flip up.
Yeah.
No shirt underneath, just itchy, sweaty.
Well, God, on that note, talk about outdoor wear. I have a fresh Polar King hooded insulated sweatshirt on its way.
Nice. Look at you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah.
I need a new hoodie. So I got my snow blowing gear in the mail, my Carhartt bib overalls and my Carhartt coat that I had to order because no one's going to sell that size on a rack. So,
yeah.
But I got those showed up. And then I was like, man, I also need like it's not cold enough for a coat, like a jacket, they call that, Marlon. I need a jacket.
Use your words.
Or a good hoodie that you just use as a jacket.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I got the big, thick, heavy duty winter coat, but you need something in between there. And I used to be the idiot that would pump gas at December 1st in his short sleeves because he doesn't want to wear his parka yet. Yeah,
and like wearing that shit when you're driving sucks. Like,
yep, hate it.
Driving in a big winter coat, damn it.
Yeah, all puffy.
Yeah.
Feel like an asshole.
All bound up, can't really turn your head very well.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yeah, my boy bosoms look like bazongas. I swear, baby, it's fabric.
I think you could embrace a puffy lifestyle. I think you could rock a nice puffy coat or a puffy vest.
Yeah. Ooh, a puffy vest. Holy shit, I would look ridiculous.
I think you should buy one. I own a puffy vest. I own a Mark Echo hooded puffy vest.
I am upset that I have not seen this out in the wild.
I wore that Mark Echo hooded puffy vest on stage at the Fargo Theater in front of Tig Notaro and Brian Posehn. Told 5 minutes of jokes in front of those two, in front of fucking 700 people wearing a goddamn Mark Echo puffy vest.
No shirt underneath. Zipper goes out. Holy fuck. You get there, you're too hot, and you make the decision that you're losing the shirt, not the vest. Got a perfectly normal shirt on. Fuck it, we're losing it.
No, we're keeping the vest. We got to keep the vest. The vest is the whole look. Yeah. Fat skin poking out between the zipper teeth.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. And then boom.
You're trying to hold it. It's like trying to hold it in an inflating balloon.
Yeah, that biscuit can explodes.
Yeah. The biscuits could never go back in the can.
Oh no. Uh-oh. That's how I get a new catchphrase.
Yeah. Uh-oh, what happened?
Let's get you into puffy wear. I think you're in for it.
There we go. I haven't been laughed at enough lately.
Maybe something.
Strangers haven't mocked me enough.
Maybe something red, a bright red puffy coat.
black and yellow, real bright yellow.
Yeah, there you go. looking like the bee girl in the Blind Melon video.
Yeah. So Grandpa comes over to the rest of the family. Turns out he's got a new lady friend named Blythe, I think is how it's pronounced.
Blythe, yep.
Blythe, there we go. Blythe. He'd been seeing her for about 6 months. They met at the retirement home where Blythe was like kind of the hippie they bring in to fucking chill out the residents with some. She's like doing that thing where she makes noise with the bowls.
Yeah, like the what are those called? Bell bowls or sound bowls. And she has a gong. She's getting your auras all figured out.
Yeah. And her and Grandpa just synced up, and Grandpa is already moving in with her. So
not wasting any time.
Fast. Yeah. There is 2 A and B stories, but this is definitely the A story. Homer and Marge go to have dinner with Blythe and Grandpa and find that, am I pronouncing it right? Blythe?
Blythe, yeah.
Blythe, there we go, yeah. Blythe has a son named Calvin, probably what? 8 to 10 years old, right?
11, she says.
11. Oh, and the whole time I was like, is this gonna be canon? Are we going to have Calvin as a part of our world? I mean, keep listening to find out. But I was like, this is a bold, like, character addition to the show 35 seasons in, you know?
As soon as we had 2 new characters, I was like, there's no way they're fucking sticking around.
Yeah. Good call, too. Yeah. Homer thinks that Calvin is weird, so he's thinking, oh, Grandpa's going to hate this kid. Turns out Grandpa treats Calvin like adores him. He dotes after him. They have a very healthy relationship, which if you have even watched The Simpsons very passively, you know that fucking Abe was a shit parent.
Yeah.
Like, terrible parent. So Homer is pissed. I can't even blame him at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
There was like a hot second where I was like, come on, fucking Homer. But then it's like, especially by the end of this episode, you're like, Jesus, this is tough.
Yeah. No, good point. And this gets serious towards the end. So Homer starts to treat Calvin poorly, and I think it starts at the dinner table. Like, he refuses to eat the dish that Calvin and Grandpa made together. Mm-hmm. And Marge is just rolling her eyes. Just be an adult, for Christ's sakes. Just eat the food.
Well, yeah, Homer's pretty fucking petty in that dinner scene.
Yeah. And Calvin gives Grandpa his eye drops, which is an ongoing thing. Was it his glocky eyes? I can't remember what he calls them.
Yeah, it's glaucoma, but yeah, he needs his Glock drops.
Yeah, which make him blinder than a bat. His Glock drops. There we go.
I don't like Grandpa drawn with great big Mickey Mouse dilated pupils. I don't like it. It looks like that episode where Mr. Burns is like the floating ghost, and he's got the big black pupils. It's real disconcerting.
Yeah, it is off-putting for sure. And during all of this, because it comes into play later, Homer finds out that Calvin does taxidermy, which is one of the things that Homer's like, oh, Grandpa's going to hate this, but turns out he like nurtures him and wants him to get better at it.
And an 11-year-old being super into taxidermy feels like a red flag.
Yep, that should set alarms off. Let's keep both eyes on this kid.
It doesn't get better when he says, I don't kill the animals, I have a guy who brings them to me. That's worse, maybe.
I mean, I think everything is explained to make it seem like Calvin is on the level. But yeah, it's like all of this, what the way they're making this isn't making it better like they think it is.
Nope, not at all.
He's a child that has a grown man bringing him dead animals.
That's terrifying.
So on to the B story. Bart and Lisa go to, I think it's something gross, like his denture cup, I think is what it is.
Grandpa needs his denture cup from the
They gotta go to the old folks home. Yeah. And they find out, talking to the front desk lady, they find out, oh, Abe's not here. The room is paid up for the next 2 weeks. And Bart is the one that kind of shuts Lisa up. Oh, okay, no, Grandpa's still there for the rest of the month. So don't worry about that, because he knows we have free reign of Grandpa's apartment for the next 2 weeks. And the plan is and Bart and Lisa are working together in this one, which is a rarity. Lisa's going to throw a really fun slumber party so she becomes popular.
Yep. Lisa's saying yes to fun and not being a fuddy-duddy here.
Yep. And I just answered my own question because I was like, when does the carnauba wax come into play? and we find out that Marge loves it so much she's polishing all the wooden surfaces in the house with the carnauba wax. And Homer's reaction to that shit is so great.
Oh my God.
That looks terrifying.
When he pulls up the back of his shirt and it's the perfect red blistery print of the chair back that he's been leaning on. Yikes. That is real gross.
Like his tongue is so swollen it won't stay in his mouth, but he can't breathe. It's like, because and she's explaining to him like a little kid, you're gonna have to go stay somewhere else. Like, and he's like, so I can breathe good? Yeah, so you can breathe good.
She's like, I've used that on every wooden surface of this whole house, even the floor.
Yeah, that was good. So here, because that's the plot point that gets the story going, Homer now has to go stay with Grandpa and Blythe and Calvin. And not only does he stay with them, he has to share a room with Calvin.
Like a sleepover.
And Calvin is being very hospitable, at least right away. Like, he's trying to make this work.
Yeah, being a nice boy.
Yeah, but Homer keeps getting reminded because, like, Grandpa comes in and like wishes Calvin a good night and just like says something shitty to Homer and then
like steps on him, like gives Calvin a good night peck on the forehead and then just steps on Homer on his way out.
Like it gets mad at Homer for being on the floor.
Yeah.
So Calvin and Homer now have like a war. It's basically a prank war that just keeps escalating. At one point, what the hell does Calvin do to Homer's car?
Takes the steering wheel off.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Like, loosens the bolt that holds the steering wheel, and then fucking Homer hits a fucking tree. And it's played off for laughs, which is a nice touch.
Like, these two really pranking each other.
Yeah, and it just keeps going up and up. And meanwhile, Bart and Lisa have their party, and it's a fucking banger.
Yeah, it is. Holy
shit. We
shit.
get Lisa happy in a social situation, which is so rare.
Yeah.
Like, all the kids love it. They think it's great. So it's like, good for Lisa. I mean, the worm is going to turn. But at this point, Lisa and Bart knows what he's doing. He's a good party host. Everyone's having a good time. What is it?
I like that Bart's like playing concierge. Like,
that's exactly it.
He's like letting them in, and like everyone has to bring a $25 gift card. And he's got them just lying in the inside of his pocket. It's like the first half of Goodfellas,
Yeah.
And he's like, and we got PG-13 movies and M-rated video games, and there's unlimited bed jumping.
Yeah, the bed jumping is nice. Yeah, because it's like you forget how young they are.
Yeah,
at least the Lisa
10 and
age
8
kids.
Yeah.
And then Bart is like, "Oh, look at this, we're making bank." And Lisa's like, "Oh no." I think this is maybe in school when Lisa's getting everyone like saying hello to her, and Bart's like, "Hey, we're doing so great with all these gift cards." He's like, "Hey, we have to reinvest. This is going to the next party, which is going to be even bigger."
She's obsessed with having to top herself.
Yeah, like she's like looking up prices for a mashed potato bar. There's some very good jokes.
In that first party when Bart's like, I think it's Martin who asks, like, what about our parents? And he's like, oh, don't worry about that. And they cut into the closet where Milhouse just has a bowl full of cell phones pretending to be people's parents to
such
cover.
A nice touch.
Yeah.
And he drops on a character like, bye.
That's his role.
Haven't got enough Milhouse this season.
While we're on the subject, where is Mr. Burns?
Oh, no shit.
Damn it.
I bet we've had a minute of Burns screen time in the last 8 episodes.
And he was anime. It almost doesn't count because it was
good call.
It was in the treehouse.
Incredible. Yeah, how little of him we've got. No fucking Smithers.
Yeah.
So Homer, still living with Blythe and his dad, has to drive Calvin to his taxidermy class at Second Life Taxidermy. It's like a hippy dippy taxidermy class, which is so awesome that is probably a thing somewhere.
They're so artsy. They're so, especially towards the end of this episode when you're like, oh God, they're so pretentious.
Yeah, we're celebrating life. Yeah. And he mocks Calvin about taxidermy, but everyone just like reaffirms Calvin how good he is. So even Homer trying to be a jerk isn't working, and he ends up going to Moe's and bitching about Calvin and to the rest of the fucking barflies. I don't know if there's any plot points in that trip.
No, it's just that quick joke of them all having trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at the tavern where we get the great thing about fucking Moe topping all of their sad dad stories about how their family were fucking grave diggers.
Yep.
Like, it's like you don't know terror until you wake up in a grave and a casket's getting lowered down on you. Like,
what the hell?
Yeah.
God damn it, Moe.
God, Moe's laughs per line is so good.
Also, weren't Moe's family's mattress salesman?
Yeah. We again, I think they just whatever ghoulish thing they can think of, whatever they need to fit Moe into, he'll fit into.
Maybe that was a side gig, the grave robbing.
Yeah.
Grave robber, hell of a career, hell of a thing.
Yeah. No shit. Just to get a couple old wedding rings.
Why don't you hear about that anymore? Why don't you hear about grave robbers anymore?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just like people don't get buried with their shit like they used to.
I think nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah. And maybe like the cement tombs really hurt the business. I don't know. We need to talk to one. Let's get one on the podcast.
Are people getting put in cement?
Yeah. Man, I think some places, I think like that's a city thing, like, or like, you're in like a mausoleum or whatever they call it. Like,
sure.
If the people with money, at least, that would maybe be buried with nice rings and shit.
I'd imagine that the increased popularity of cremation is going a long way to put a dent in it.
Good call.
But I bet you and I could drive down the street from my house just a few minutes and probably come out with some decent money.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work digging down 5-6 feet. That's hours of digging.
I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah. And it's, Jesus Christ, the risk to reward ratio, like doing all that digging, disturbing a corpse to find nothing has got to be such a bummer.
Yeah, that's
maybe
probably...
you got to do research and find out who in town had bling and dressed ostentatiously.
I think you can't just pick one. I think you got to do a little work. You got to Google a few people.
Yeah.
Find a family name that goes back far enough.
Don't want to just eeny, meeny, miny, mow it. Yeah.
Yeah, not just, let's see, let the spirit take me. Yeah. See what... I bet you could, people fucking buy metal detectors and spend all day on the beach looking for treasure. I don't think grave digging is any much less Looney Tunes than that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crime.
Well...
It's frowned upon in modern society.
It is.
Or even centuries ago, there's never a time grave robbing was considered a noble profession.
Take morals out of it. It is no less of a crime than metal detecting on the beach. Yeah. You're digging up something that isn't yours and taking it home and selling it.
But if you take the work out of it, they ain't digging more than 6 inches down into that sand. And plus, it's sand. That's easier to move around than just topsoil.
I think that work is work regardless of how hard the work is. I think that these two things are exactly the same activity if you take morality out of it.
Okay. I will spend 6 weeks this summer beach combing. You spend 6 weeks grave robbing.
And see who comes out with more.
This is what we could do during the podcast when we're done with Simpsons.
I honestly could see you being a metal detector guy.
Yeah.
God, I think you could.
I could, maybe.
Your thrifty ass, if you found a metal detector at a pawn shop for $25.
Again, the time wasted for what you get to me is like, ugh. Like,
God damn it,
why?
another sheet metal screw.
Yep, exactly. Oh my God, can you imagine? Like,
But every once in a while, it's a necklace.
yeah, I wonder how often that is the case. Like, I bet you could go years without anything valuable.
We've got all these fucking bottle caps. Not supposed to have class at the beach.
So Homer's back at his dad's place, and he's still pissed about all of this. And he puts on Kelvin's crown, which he wears like a Jughead style crown for some reason.
Yeah, for whatever
and
reason.
He's like looking in the mirror and mocking Kelvin. That's when Grandpa wanders in. Does he have the Glock eyes at this point?
Yeah, his eyes are all dilated, so he can't see anything.
And he says nice things to Homer because he thinks Homer's Kelvin. And this is when it gets kind of sad. Mm-hmm. Because, like, Homer's, like, pretending to be Calvin just to hear nice things. It's like, what the fuck? And, oh, he didn't realize it right away. That's it. It didn't dawn on him that, oh, he wasn't saying nice things to me. He thought I was Calvin because he's fucking blind. Like, oh, Jesus, that's a bummer.
Yeah, like, because he says all this nice shit about how proud he is of him. And he's like, oh, you never say that. And he's like, what are you talking about, Calvin? I tell you I'm proud of you all the time. Oof.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Damn it. Like Homer goes and like sits by a tree in the backyard. And Calvin comes out. He's like, you could attack me, but leave the birds, because there's like a birdhouse above him. Like,
he thinks he's trying to take out his birdhouse.
Yeah. And that's when Calvin realizes, oh, Jesus, Homer's sad. And Homer kind of explains his relationship, and Calvin doesn't like believe it. Like, what? Like, no, not that guy. He's the best. Mm-hmm. And then Calvin shows him by like taking his shirt and like putting it around the back of a chair, having Calvin poke his head up and like putting like something to make him look bald.
It's a Pikachu stocky cap that he ties the ears real tight so they don't stick up.
Yeah. And then Glocky Drop Grandpa walks in and berates, thinking it's Homer, So now Calvin knows.
That was a fun. Yeah. Because Homer like calls for him, like, Dad, come here. And Abe comes in there all fucking full of beans. Like, God damn it, I was doing a word scramble and I just found the longest diagonal of my career. What could you possibly want? Like, Jesus.
Cut back to the B story, back at the retirement home. This party is out of control. They went too hard. They clearly have a face painting station because Bart and Lisa have face paint, and they're both out in the hallway like, holy shit, what are we gonna do? Like, especially Lisa, she realizes we went. What is it that starts like exploding in there?
There's a couple things. One of them is you hear a loud crash and Bart ducks his head in there and pulls his face out right away. He goes, oh God, the rock climbing wall has collapsed onto the reptile enclosure.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That's a fucking party.
It's like, how many gift cards did they have?
Oh shit.
And it's Lisa realizes what she has to do. She has to be no fun Lisa, because at this point it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And she calls the cops. The cops come. It's Wiggum. He comes to break it up. And a very sad Lisa goes to like explains things to him. He's like, "Can I sit in the back of your car?" It's just to empty churro sugar out of her shoes.
So good.
So good. And while she's doing that, the girls come out, like the twins and Janie, and they're like, oh my God, like Lisa's getting arrested. Like her party's so good, she's going to jail. And what is it that she says? It's like, Officer Wiggum, there is a box of Snickers in our freezer with your name on it if you turn the lights on right now.
And drive me home. Yep.
And he doesn't even hesitate.
Yeah. If you play along, that I'm getting arrested.
Yeah.
Because
so
that
was
her
a
cool.
nice, that was a nice end of that story.
Yeah, I like that.
Meanwhile, back to the A story, Calvin attends the taxidermy convention in Shelbyville. Homer then comes with his entry, which is just 2 shells with googly eyes glued to them. And Grandpa's there doting on Calvin, and when Homer tries to enter that, Grandpa starts like berating him for like, why are you messing with this? This isn't your thing. And of course, those judges are like, oh, wait a second. Look at this. Look at how the little shell stares longingly at the big shell, but the big shell looks angrily down at the little shell. Like, you can tell it's crying out for love, which is what it is. They're on to something.
Yeah, they're
know?
right.
Yeah.
But it's before that, all throughout the taxidermy show, everything is so fucking pretentious. Everything's like, here's a taxidermied family of possums eating out of a crusty bag as one looks off into the distance, like dreaming of a better life. It's like high art people doing taxidermy, which is a great joke. The artist is like, it's like, oh, I thought I made it too subtle. Yeah. Oh no, it hit me like a ton of bricks. They're just fawning over all.
So good.
It's like, that's a great joke to slap like high art attitudes onto taxidermists is very funny.
So, and during all of that, Grandpa starts to have a change of heart when he hears them talking about it and realizes that this is Homer, like, showing him, like, what their relationship is like. And they have a really, it's like a emotional heart-to-heart, but it's fucking funny, too. And Homer has that breakthrough. It wasn't that I was a bad kid. You're just horribly flawed.
Yeah.
And Grandpa's like, I am.
Yeah, cause he's like, yeah, because when I was a dad to you, I thought my life was over. And now being a dad to him, it's like it's my last chance at being young again. Like, Grandpa is just loudly in the wrong the whole time.
Just so selfish, just shitty and selfish. We see where Homer gets it. Yeah. So they make up and cut to, I don't know how much time has passed, but turns out Blythe has broken up with Grandpa. And because she found a guy she has a new spiritual connection with. Yeah. Who, that dude took Calvin to Africa to study animals. He's back at the retirement home, leaving all of this on a phone message. And Grandpa was just happy that he and Homer are close again. And then it cuts to fucking Homer sitting on the couch, and it's just going to voicemail. Like, he's just ignoring Grandpa again. Like,
he's just like, probably a butt dial. And just doesn't even look up from the television.
Unbelievable.
So good.
Yeah. So rarely do the A and the B stories go together so well.
Yeah, they were both good. A lot of times when they split them up, a lot of times you end up with like a good one and a bad one, or even just a good one and a lackluster one.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, that was very good.
This is what, I'll be shocked if there's many episodes this season, now that we're past like the horror stuff, the Halloween stuff, that I'll like more than this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. And that, when it gets heavy between Abe and Homer, it is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. I haven't had, the show has gotten less with laughs, but gotten better at emotion. Mm-hmm. You know, like, look, also, we've been watching these characters for a third of a century now.
Right, yeah.
People are invested emotionally.
Yeah. And, like, this isn't new shit. You know, the first episode was a classic Homer and Lisa one. This one, a classic Homer and Abe one, you know. Yeah, we're not doing anything new, but it's still good.
And talking about characters we haven't seen, you take away that one part of the treehouse, very little Maggie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't even know if she's in this episode.
Yeah.
Either of these episodes.
She is just background filler.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we get around to Mr. Burns here before too long. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm here for the Burns. We know that.
Eventually they'll be writing him as a fucking Vietnam vet.
He just keeps updating. It's like the Punisher. They have to just update him every 10 years to
a World War I vet,
to be a vet of a newer war.
So next week, what do we got? 9 and 10. You gonna watch them this time?
I think I'll watch them this time. Yeah, episodes 9 and 10.
You have the confidence now. You don't even have to watch them. You figured out the pattern. You know what the hell it's going to play out.
God, I feel like our recaps are a little fucking slapdash as is. Imagine what they'd be like if we didn't watch the episodes.
Yeah. So Bart says fucking cowabunga. I don't know.
What's the name of that character?
Homer eats a bunch of sandwiches probably. Marge bitches and moans. Lisa complains.
What do you think? Does Homer have a a signature food, like
Donuts.
Oh, of course it's donuts. Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right. I was trying to think. I was like, wait a minute. Like Jughead eats sandwiches, Wimpy eats burgers. And you're right. Yes, Homer's is the donut.
Am I right? Earlier on, this doesn't seem to be as common as a thing. Was it pork chops or meatloaf?
Pork chops.
That Marge could like win him over. Like if he's like wants to go to Moe's, it's like, oh, it's pork chop night, and he would like kind of like, oh, okay. But I would say that's been lost over time.
Pork chops was definitely the dinner of choice. Yeah. A lot of
definitely donuts.
A lot of just snacks too. A lot of just bags of snacks in front of the television.
Chips. A lot of chips in front of the TV.
You know what? I'm going to say it's beyond underrated and say it is flat out disrespected. A disrespected salty snack is pretzels.
Yeah. For me, pretzels they're always solid but never great. I never like have a hankering for pretzels.
Really? I would rather have a bag of pretzels than a bag of plain chips.
Oh, not yet. The only way you get me excited if it's something like Dots that has seasoning.
I actively dislike Dots pretzels. I know I'm the only one, and I know if I say that in the wrong part of North Dakota, they'll crucify me on the road out of town. But I don't like them.
As a warning.
It's too much. The seasoning is too much. All you did was ruin what would have been a nice bag of pretzels.
For me, pretzels alone they're perfectly okay, but just they're so bland. Well, also, I don't like a bag of plain potato chips.
Sure, but you would take that over pretzels, which I think is ludicrous.
They're about equal to me.
Okay.
But with chips, you have a million flavor options, and I'm going for something wild.
Yeah.
Well, that's even true. Like barbecue is like my favorite potato chip, like.
There are days where I would take a bag of pretzels over a bag of barbecue chips, and I love barbecue chips, but.
Barbecue, if you have to stick with your basic flavor, plain, sour cream and onion, ranch, and barbecue, what else? Salt and vinegar.
For a potato chip, yes, it's always barbecue.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll get the itch for a sour cream and onion, but 9 out of 10, I'm eating barbecue chips.
Yep, 9 out of 10. But I would have said it the exact. 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, I got a weird hankering for sour cream and onion.
Yeah. But most of the time, I'd rather have pretzels than either of those.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking last week worked through a bag. I don't know. This is almost a different category. Worked through a whole bag in a week of Snyder of Hanover's hard sourdough pretzels. Those ones, they're like the size of your fist and just hard as a fucking rock. I love sourdough pretzels.
You can lay them crisscross to make the foundation for your garage floor.
You can run screws right into those sourdough pretzels. I fucking love those rock hard sourdough pretzels.
Yeah, and for me too, I like a big soft pretzel if I can dip it in something. It's fine alone, but I want it in some cheese sauce.
I would like cheese sauce, but I'll eat it plain also.
This makes me wonder, are we both starving right now? Is this what's happening?
I am. I'm fucking hungry right now. I already cleaned up the leftover Halloween candy because, like I said, there was like 6 little fun sizes in there. Though I don't think those made it out of Halloween night, actually.
That was one handful.
I think I was like, let's not drag this out. Let's tear this Band-Aid off.
One sloppy night.
Gross.
Yeah. Good name for your leaked porn DVD.
Yep, One Sloppy Night. The highly anticipated sequel to Can I Please Have an Emotion?
Hard to say if there's even a woman in there. He sure carries on.
Shit.
It's hard. The lighting's bad. It's like, is he having sex or is he just like laying flat on his back, kicking the fitted sheet in the air like a cat?
Either way, he's winded as hell.
Yeah, they got to burn that mattress no matter what this is.
That's a bummer. Mattresses are expensive. All right, well, let's go get some food, Nathan. We're going to tell jokes this weekend. That'll be fun. So if you're in South Dakota, look us up. And that's about it. 9 and 10 for next week, and everyone enjoy themselves.
Have a good week, everybody.